Sometimes dead is better.
Welcome, everyone, to Give Me Back My Horror Night. Horror Night? I'm getting my podcast mixed up again. I told you I could screw this up just as well as Nate could.
If that was your screw up, I'll take it. Yeah. No, don't you dare blame Anna.
Oh, no, not at all. Welcome back once again to, what are we? God damn. See, look.
That's number 2. You should have just rolled with the first one.
I should have rolled with the first one and let it go. It is Give Me Back My Horror Movies.
There you go.
Hey, I finally got it. This is a special February edition in August.
February and August. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
It's not quite like Christmas in July, but it's still in that same ilk, I suppose. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Pete. Tonight is definitely my fault. With us tonight, it's a disgruntled Charlie. Charlie, how's it going? Yeah,
I'm doing okay.
I can tell he already said that he's got a headache, and I think I had something to do with that after he watched our film today. Anna is here to get my back. How you doing, girl?
Hello, I'm here. And I got to say, Charlie, the GIFs you were sending in the Slack were sending me all the tongue movement GIFs.
Oh, my God.
It's a perfect way to describe this movie.
If we could make those public, we still shouldn't.
We probably shouldn't know. But trust me, Pete's in for a big tongue lashing tonight. So,
yes. Oh, boy. Well, speaking of tongue lashings, what's tonight's movie? Tonight's movie is from 1974. I think it came out of the United States in 1975. Yep. It is Vampyres. It is a British movie. Let me see. How can I describe this? Well, let me describe this.
Okay, I was going to say
Vampyres.
The trailer kind of does.
Do you want to do the trailer? Then I'll actually do. How about I just?
We should do a let her explain Pete edition.
Let Pete explain.
You got 30 seconds.
This is a British sexploitation horror movie with a paper-thin plot.
Oh God!
If you even want to call it a plot,
sheer negligee.
It came in the tail end of the sexploitation horror movies. That's what it is, man. It's trash. This movie is absolute trash, and I am all about it. This is a good time, and it might not be for you. Man. Yes. I come out. Yep. I will take that. I will embrace it as I would embrace. Why don't we just go to the trailer?
Yeah, let's let the trailer do the talking for a minute. Yeah,
you should have got a sound clip of Snooki from Jersey Shore going, "Hey, the degenerates are here." The GIF I sent y'all. I was like, "This is me and Pete showing up to record Monday." Yeah.
I wish Pete had asked me permission to play this, but anyway, here's the trailer.
Succulent, sinister. Theirs is the ultimate lust. They are vampires, very unnatural ladies. Your blood will freeze as they lead you down the corridors of terror. Ravishers who tempt men's appetites and feed their own. Vampires. Their lips are moist and very, very red. They'll rivet you with terror. Vampires. They trail the aroma of love, the scent of death.
You arouse me more than any woman I've met.
Kill him. Kill him.
Cross their path and you are a sacrifice to evil.
Who are you? Where the hell do you come from?
Vampires. Very unnatural ladies. They are the dark screams in the blood. The screams you won't be able to hold back when you see Vampyres. Adult terror from chemists.
I wouldn't call anything about these ladies unnatural. They're all
Oh yeah,
natural.
they're au natural.
All natural. So, Vampyres, 1974. It's a British movie, as I said. Now I'm going to go first. I usually let the others go first, but I want to kind of defend what I'm doing, even though it's indefensible. This is a trash movie. It's softcore porn. Let's see what else. Now there is a deep well of lesbian vampire movies, and this is on the back end of most of those. It also came out at a time when the Brits were loosening their restraints on film. So back in the 60s, when Hammer was doing this, they would get their hands slapped and have heavy edits. Some of their movies would get put on the video nasties list.
Right.
If they had, and the weird thing about the Brits is you could have all the horror you wanted to, you could have all the sex you wanted to, but if you mix the two, they'd throw you on the video nasties. So this being in 1974 is at the tail end of the prudishness of everything, because once like 1970 or 71 hits, it gets really, British horror movies get really horny, really, really horny. And if you want to take a dive into a bottomless well of filth and depravity, just start with Vampyres on Tubi and see all of the suggestions that come after that. Because you've got legit good ones like the Karnstein trilogy, the Twins of Evil, Lust for a Vampire, and I forget the other one with. I'm already off my game here. And then you have the other ones that are really, really depraved. And this one kind of skirts the middle, where it does have the horror to it, and it definitely got the sex to it. This movie was made for less than $500,000 at the time. So it was like a 70,000 pound a film. It cost about 70,000 pounds to make, give or take. And in today's money, that's about $500,000 again, give or take. So it's along with the plot, it is a razor thin budget.
Which is why on the screen either. So somebody snorted it up their nose, probably.
They had.
Oh no! There were no actors snorting anything, because they had no chemistry whatsoever. If they had been doing some drugs, there would have been some chemistry in those sex scenes.
You had the first part right, Anna. No actors. Period.
Oh no!
Here he goes.
He's
already
clearly
off.
Don't watch a lot of British horror movies, because this is
I'm sorry. Good. This is somehow slipped through the cracks of my repertoire that I dig into with my English horror.
You're the guy that says, I don't like watching modern movies. I only watch old movies, and this is an old movie.
80s.
This should totally 80s.
90s.
You only watch 80s movies.
80s and 90s
movies. Well,
the golden era. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That's the golden era, sir.
Yeah, so in the 80s and 90s, you got Interview the Vampire, or you got Vampyres. Give me Vampyres every day of the week. So
John Carpenter Vampyres.
Oh Lord, you
didn't think I was not going to bring that up.
No, I knew you were. Anna, did you have a history with this film at all? Outside of me asking you if we could put boobs on.
Yeah, no, none whatsoever. I'd never heard of it. And not until you suggested it did I ever think I would watch it or come across it. And so for that, I thank you. And I actually did have some fun with it, because I will say, if you take the sex scenes out of it, I really enjoy the patina of the rest of the movie. I really have a soft spot for old films like this, and like the Hammer films, the way they're made, they just have like a comfortable feel to them. Like with Dawn of the Dead, I feel that way with that movie. And so yeah, if you take all the sex out of it, I'm like, okay, this is actually a cute little movie. And then all the horniness comes in.
There's a lot,
and it's only about 20 minutes long at that point too. So
I know.
It'll be easy to get through.
This is also true. It's fine.
And this was made in 74, right?
Yeah, it was released in 74.
Yeah, a year later. The exterior of this house was used for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, it was. The exterior of this house was used in a lot of British films because of its gothic look to it.
I thought it looked familiar.
You've seen it. If you ever watched any of the old Sherlock Holmes films. This is one that pops up quite a bit. But yeah, and the interiors was another. It wasn't set. Nothing. This was all shot on site, but the interiors were shot at a different castle somewhere else, and I forget where that is. And that is par for the course for me because I don't know or remember anything from anything that I look up. So, but the interiors also had that very old Gothic theme. You look back into not just the Hammer, but if you go back to the Universal stuff, the old Dracula castles, those were set pieces, but these were real places, which it gives it that lived in feel. I feel it's even creepier.
Yeah,
since the real thing instead of a made up thing, so to speak.
Doors actually lead somewhere. The cellar actually exists.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they're walking, I mean, you could probably create a map as they would walk through the house where they're going.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
if they'd have known to do it, this could have been a really nice, like, early one shot of her walking him through the house. And they wouldn't have even had to have cut anything. Just had him walk
through the dilapidated parts of the house.
The dilapidated parts into the boudoir.
And you know what's funny? That guy said, I don't know how many times, this place is falling apart. Like, what are you two ladies doing living here? And then, like, they're having sex in the shower later, and I'm like, damn, that's a nice shower. It don't look like the house is falling apart too much to me.
They know where to spend their money.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And we'll go next with Charlie. I know you've never seen this.
No, never seen it.
I just wanted to go through. We're doing our things.
No,
we're getting through the history.
That's totally fine. No, you said Vampyres. I got excited, and then I was like, wait, we've already done John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, 2015. And you're like, no, 1974. I'm like, okay.
15 version is a remake, and it feels more porny, if you can imagine.
Caroline Munro's in it too.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Not peak Caroline Munro.
No.
It's her.
2015. Give her a break.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's not part of the part to watch it.
No, that's not the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Caroline Munro.
Then looking it up on Tubi, Pete, you're right. It opens up a plethora of suggestions now, and I'm a little upset we didn't get Vampyres at Bikini Beach. That was one that popped right up, and I was like, I think I'd prefer to watch this one. Jackie was indifferent either way we went. As soon as I said it was a Pete pick,
did she sit down? She watched it?
Oh, she watched it, and about an hour in, went, how much longer do we have in this thing? And I said, we got 30 more minutes. She's like, I want to go to bed, and I said, nope, you got to do it for Pete. So she's grumpy the entire end of this movie, and honestly hasn't said a word about it since. So,
oh no.
Yeah, I expected that, and I wish Tubi had a watch at 5 times speed.
It's not. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, Jesus, this thing, man. I'm yelling. I yell at the TV sometimes, but I yelled at the TV a lot. Like this guy giving him a ride, and he's like, "Oh, here you are. Oh yeah, I'll follow you into your house. Oh yeah, let's go upstairs. Let's shag." 70s, man. And I'm like, 70s. Dude, you just gave her a ride. What the hell?
And now he's giving her another ride.
Settle down, Austin Powers. Good God, man. Shag now or shag later, baby.
Shag all day through. So that is the premise of the film, is that these two vampires, question mark. We'll get to that. I know. These two vampires living together in this old dilapidated castle. They go out into this country road. They hitchhike back home, lure men into the castle, and drain them of their blood. And then
and other things.
And hilariously, after they're done murdering them, they'll throw them back in their car, naked, by the way, and make it look like an accident, which always makes me laugh when you see their bodies kind of falling out of the car and they're stripped naked. Like, So you're driving down the road, you have this wreck, and the first thing you do instead of crawling away to safety is you take off all your clothes.
Yeah, somehow you hit, and the impact throws your clothes off.
Well, yeah, you've heard of knocking your socks off. These wrecks were so bad it knocked your clothes off.
Those cars didn't have air conditioning. So,
or airbags for that matter.
I don't know airbags.
And the police must be the dumbest police on the face of the earth for not investigating. 'Cause
Yeah.
there were like 3
all
cars
of the wrecks in
within a
one
week.
damn spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh no,
I swear to
I am well aware of these plot holes and deficiencies.
they worked on that one accident, I feel like half the fucking movie. And then they decided, hey, let's do another blue car and really fuck with everybody. And I'm just like, is that the same goddamn car?
I was wondering that too. I was like,
It may
wait a
have been.
minute.
So it's a
And
low budget
finally,
film.
I got a red one. So I was like, okay, I know whose that one's is. Dude, I'm glad you said paper thin plot because it's non-existent. There is no plot. There is some couple caravanning who decided to camp in these people's front fucking yard.
Yeah, that's
And-
yeah.
Yeah, what's up
It was
with
the
that?
70s. I don't know if that was a thing.
And
in the 70s.
the guy looks like a Timu Bruce Campbell.
Oh, he does. I thought I had to look it up. I thought he might have been in the vampire movie we did last time, with the naked chick everywhere.
Life Force?
Life Force could be the name of it. But I kept going. It's just because I'm white, so I can say this. All British dudes look the same back in the 70s.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, so they're just parking. This chick is just will not stop about why were there 2 girls standing out there? Why was one hiding? Wonder who lives in that house. She is like a toddler this entire movie. Who lives there? I saw a light on. Someone's outside. Will you go look? I don't know what we're doing here. Can we leave? Can we? I'm like, shut up. Just again, I was yelling at the TV a lot.
And then her husband continues to gaslight her, even though she does actually see someone outside.
Is it
that's what he's at.
gaslighting or him just being like, I want to say shut up, but I'm trying to be nice and just say, look, it is what it is. We're in their front yard. People exist.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
So yeah, this young couple is caravanning. They just set up shop randomly. Yeah, I don't know how camping works in Britain in 1974. Maybe that was a common thing. You just picked somebody's front yard and fish in their pond and
right. Yeah, I'm going to go fishing. I was actually looking forward to watching this dude fish, and I never got to see it.
You get like 1 half-second shot of him reeling in or once with nothing on the end. I think he was just
it was.
out
I
there
was
smoking.
I was so disappointed
so
in that.
much cigarette smoking too.
Oh God! And this isn't like the euphemism in the movies back in the day when you would smoke a cigarette. That means we just had sex. No, we literally watched them have sex and then light up a cigarette.
Yeah,
like,
we watched all the motions. We went through all of them together.
Pete, you've done something. This is the first porno you've brought onto the show, and we've ever done.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, pretty close. I mean, minus the penetration. This did get an X rating in the United States, so it was hard to find. But this was that perfect drive-through fodder that you'd get in those
You
days.
need to work on your phrasing, sir, because you've just said hard and drive-through while talking about
I did.
I want to
know
know.
exactly
I should.
what
I
I'm
didn't.
doing.
I didn't know I needed the Archer soundbite phrasing. Oh God,
I know what I'm doing.
Do you? Do you like?
I have completely succeeded in this movie by frustrating the ever-living shit out of you.
Oh, I was
I
extremely
knew it.
frustrated watching this movie.
So
It made no sense.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason it didn't make any sense is because the director is Spanish, and that is neither here nor there. But,
I like that he's Spanish. That doesn't matter.
well,
okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter that he's Spanish.
Oh, that's okay.
It just doesn't matter. But he was awful avant-garde about some of his filmmaking and would encourage the actors to improv. And there's probably quite a bit of disconnection through the story since they didn't follow the damn script. So there was a lot like I would imagine that the reason the wife is always asking that same question over and over again is because she's not getting any direction as to what to say. It's like, just go off script, it'll be fine. And I think there's a lot of those weird things that happen. They're like, where did that go? What was that for? I don't even understand that. That probably was, he just said, hey, keep rolling, do some stuff. We'll figure it out in post.
This felt very high school
drama
with nudity.
here's a script. Well, let's not bring high school and nudity.
No,
into
it
this
just
thing.
felt that way as far as the
Phrasing.
acting, but this is, adult style. But they couldn't act. High schoolers could act better than what these.
This
people
is like
did.
Euphoria in the 70s.
Sure. I don't know what Euphoria is because I didn't feel it.
It's that HBO show, and it's got like Zendaya and
Oh.
Sydney Sweeney, and they're all teenagers, and they all have sex like porn stars. I'm like, I wasn't fucking like that in high school. Like, I know y'all weren't either. So that's like, this is like Euphoria.
It's
in
a
the
foreign
70s.
concept to me in high school. I don't know. This whole movie was a foreign concept to me. Like, I'm saving something I want to talk about till later.
Okay.
So I'm
All
jumping into just the shit acting and this guy that we're supposed to follow and
Ted,
care about. Ted. Kind of
Yeah.
care about. I don't give two shits about this dude.
He is a weird character. He, I wouldn't say is your dictionary definition of a handsome person.
No.
And this beautiful woman, Fran,
she's all right.
That must be some good dick because she wants it all the time.
I don't know. We saw
enough to keep him alive.
Enough to keep him alive, which is a key to the plot? Question mark.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm curious where we're going to get into a plot.
It kind of does play a little bit into the, the assassin who feels bad for their target and doesn't want to kill them. And then their partner later on in the movie saying, you have to do this. They have to die. And that's exactly what happens with Fran and Miriam in the shower. She's like, you have to kill him. And then they start making out.
Miriam, that poor girl, that actress, is such a fish out of water in this entire movie and looks uncomfortable.
The blonde, right?
The blonde.
Yeah,
like,
the blonde.
seriously, I would not have been surprised had the camera accidentally cut over and there's someone with a gun pointed at her, making sure she does all her scenes, because that's how I felt watching her. Like, she is like, I don't want to be here. I don't like any of this, but I got to do it. I signed the papers. I felt bad for her this entire movie.
Way before the days of intimacy coordinators on movie sets.
Oh God, that's the other thing.
This is probably what spawned that.
Probably.
Yeah,
look, this is that close to porn that they're not wearing anything in these scenes. Like, dude shows dong a couple times when the camera cuts right.
You get a little.
There's no like fake clothing down covering anything. No, this was damn near a porno.
At least this is not Possessor where you get a full blown erection.
Well, there was dong in that, but I don't know. This feels worse.
This feels dirtier for sure because it's a dirty movie.
None of those positions are anything a normal person would do, and the amount of licking that happened in this movie,
too much.
My God, yeah. I wish there was a word more than too much, because
I was thinking people don't kiss like that.
Right. Jackie was getting mad. I was just like that. Like, did they just go nuts? And they just like, whose idea was it?
Literally.
Was it Ted's? Because I think it was Ted's. Like,
might have been.
I'm going to lick every literal square inch of your body and I'm going to do it the entire movie. And it's not in a good way at all. Like, it was stomach turning. I'm not lying. This was like,
it's horror, man.
Yeah, that was the horror in the horror movie. Not the actual, like, what's supposed to be the horror in a horror movie that is almost non-existent till the end of the fucking movie.
It's irony.
Oh God!
I want to
iron my eyeballs
British
out.
films are there. It's a nice, slow. It's a strolling story.
A lot of strolling and awkward running in the woods. Someone teach them girls how to run. Like, I don't want them to look like Tom Cruise, but not like we're fairies and we're going to
frolicking.
Damn near frolicking. Damn near frolicking.
With their capes on, they look like Little Red Riding Hood running through.
Or Dracula, because she had the black cape with the red lining.
There is nothing in this movie that says vampire. Okay, I'm going to keep saying that till I get to say my piece about this movie. But there's nothing that I went,
okay.
ooh, very
So
Dracula.
we can talk about that. We can talk about that a little bit. So yes, in this movie, they aren't the traditional vampires. They do walk in the daylight. They don't necessarily sleep in coffins. They do sleep in a wine cellar, which I've been known to do when I had too much wine.
Eats downstairs vodka.
Yeah, it's the basement vodka.
Exactly. And they don't have fangs, so they don't suck blood, which is why there's all the licking. So they'll use a knife to open up a wound on their victim and then draw the blood out that way. And since they didn't have a lot of money, they didn't have a lot of special effects. They had that one big cut on Ted's arm, and everything else was pretty much blood painted on the boys and them getting the blood licked off. So let's hope it was delicious for these gals. Anyway, to go, you're right, Charlie. They don't have they're not vampires because they don't have vampire fangs, I suppose. And if you think about it, Life Force was a space vampire. She also didn't have fangs. Well,
the other ones did though, and then they turn into a giant bat at the end. So I give that one.
Okay,
is she shape-shifted? So this movie,
have the money for that.
This movie shows us real live bats flying around. I'm like, okay, yeah, vampire, I get it, yeah. And these two chicks are running around in basically the daylight. Like, I think there's only one night scene in this movie when they go, it's almost daybreak, we must run. I'm like,
I was wondering about that too just now. I was like, well, didn't they say that? And yeah,
it's really inconsistent.
They are inconsistent. Ted peels a little bit of paper off of a mirror.
They had covered up the mirror.
They couldn't even do the mirror gag. Like, you couldn't even do where they're not. If you took the time to show a mirror's covered up, take the time to do the mirror gag where they're not, their reflection's not in there. And all we see is Ted. It can't be that expensive. They did it in the fucking 20s and 30s. You know, it's like you could have figured that part out. And you're right. There's no. I wanted one of them to flash Fang. Like, I could have cared less that they were naked. I wanted to see Fang.
You got the wrong Flash.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. The wound thing, I was like, okay, I get it. It was a terrible looking appliance on this dude's arm.
It wasn't good. Again, low budget.
So
finally,
keep saying that like it's an excuse, but no,
it is an excuse. They had no money. Anyway, the final part of this not having fangs, George Romero put a movie out a couple of years after this called Martin. And if you haven't seen Martin, I highly recommend it.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Very ambiguous vampire movie, and nothing is ever explained in it. There's a lot of hints left through the whole movie that you're supposed to piece the puzzle together. And the long and the short is you're not real sure if this person is actually a vampire or not, or if they have some sort of mental illness that makes them go out and kill people and drink their blood, because that's a thing. I'm pretty sure
hemophilia or something like that. I think is what it's called. Something similar along the lines.
It's a hema something or other, I would imagine. So on the same level, do I play my cards now? We're only
it's up to you. I mean, we're 30 minutes in. I can hit a commercial.
Because
I'm sitting on something too, and I don't want to hit it till later.
Yeah, okay. I do want to hear more from Anna, though. I mean,
I don't
Anna,
mean what are your thoughts at this point?
Honestly, I mean, I'm just along for the ride because I know, like,
the girl. Yes.
I mean, I know.
Get on the bus.
It's one of those movies. There's not a whole lot of substance to. Except maybe metaphorically with bodies and such, but so I'm just
a lot of volume there.
I'm just having fun with it. We got a reverse cowgirl scene in this movie and everything. Once that happened, I was like, "Hello!" Now we're really getting into it. But yeah,
it was
like
the only part they weren't licking.
I know. Just their faces were. Her back was to him. But yeah, I did enjoy it for what it was. Like I said, I like everything in the background too. It's just kind of whimsical and it's got that old feel. So yeah, I was just along for the ride, sex or not.
You could almost smell it, couldn't you? Like,
yeah, it had that like that old basement smell. You know, you know what I'm talking about?
With cigarettes and dried up wine.
Yeah, definitely swamp ass. Yeah.
Fluids. Yeah,
our boy Ted was not looking good as this movie kept going.
He was looking rough.
He was looking really
They were
rough.
continually draining him, which made him anemic, and he was unable to continue to function. I mean, even that last time they tried to have sex, he just collapsed, and the two of them started drinking from him like he
had like
squeezing
hardcore
blood
whiskey
from a
dick.
stone at that point. Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah, like I guess his lady friend didn't think all the way through.
I
Gotta
did
have some
find it
blood flow to the
hilarious.
dick.
I did find it hilarious that this guy's been drinking this entire movie, and he goes to the couple that are camped out in the front yard to get help and get first aid. And immediately the dude brings out a bottle of whiskey. Here, this will help. And I'm like, dude is like 50% blood and alcohol right now. He doesn't need whiskey.
He wakes up in the morning and grabs a glass of wine. It's sitting there right on his desk or his
That's
nightstand.
all he's drinking in this entire movie. It's like, dude, I was like, dude needs a Gatorade. Something. Just
Yeah, we
Getting some electrolytes.
Speaking of drinking, so they mentioned a couple of times they hinted toward the wine itself. And this kind of leads into something later, but I was thinking that this wine, they were saying that it was a special vintage. Oh, sorry, we only have red wine, they said one time. So there's these hints that they dropped that this might be wine and blood, maybe, or just blood. When the sommelier visits them later on, he's like, "Oh, I will guess this wine. Give me a minute." And he fails to guess it, and they say that it's a Carpathian vintage, which is where Dracula was from, which was a lot of fun for just a quick reference there.
Yeah,
but it also piled on the fact that, is this just wine, or is it the girl's blood? Are they draining people to fill these bottles? I don't know. It's very ambiguous, but I like the sinisterness of them presenting this wine to people and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, we only have red." It's a very special blend or vintage from the Carpathian Mountains. I thought that was a lot of fun. And
I just like how old dude was like, it's 14 years old. That's really good vintage. I'm like, I thought we liked it older than that. Like, that doesn't sound very old to me to be drinking wine.
14's getting there, I think.
I guess maybe in 70s. I mean, that would be a 1950, kind of vintage.
And
but
with World War II just recently ending at that point, who knows what kind of wine survived.
Well, that's true. I did not put that one together.
Interesting. Yeah.
Quite pedantic. Quite. I don't know. I'm just saying fancy words at this point. I have no idea. I'm trying to be as British as I can in this British nonsense and I like British movies. I love British comedies. I love that kind of stuff. But good God, this was just. Look, this movie's only like an hour and a half long, and it was it's a slog.
It's a lot of walking.
A slog.
It's a lot of camera following an actor walking from here to there. But that's a very British way.
If you say low budget one more time, we're going to camera.
So my question is, if the wine did have blood in it, what would be the point of it? Just because they're killing them anyways, they're draining them and then ditching their bodies. So if they're not trying to change them for some specific purpose,
right?
Why would they give them wine with vampire blood in it?
Mm-hmm. So maybe they are trying to change them, and that leads on to something else I want to talk about later.
Okay, I set you up unintentionally.
You set me up beautifully.
I tell you what, I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit a commercial break because then I want to get into the rest of our discussion.
Yeah.
If we end up talking 2 hours about fucking vampires,
we do not need to talk 2 hours about this. No.
I will end the podcast. This will just be it. It was like, sorry, Nate.
We get an hour and 10.
Charlie's got to edit this too.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to this all again. It's just Pete and his euphemisms all of a sudden happening.
Put this in your memory book. The day we reviewed Vampyres. Damn it, Pete.
You're watching the USA Network.
Do you like horror movies?
Do you like hanging out with your friends?
Do you like having a laugh? Do you like podcasts?
Well, you should check out our podcast, Spoils of Horror.
We're not a review show.
We're a horror movie hangout where we talk about movies that are lost, forgotten, popular, and bizarre, all in the scary realm.
You can listen to our podcast while you're doing just about anything.
You could be washing your dishes.
You could be washing your cat.
You could be washing your genitals. All forms of genitals accepted.
We are a fully inclusive genitalia show.
Yes, we are the #1 ideal podcast for washing your genitals.
Our genital Yelp reviews are unsurpassed.
5.5 stars.
You don't want to know where that half came from. It's,
Now that you know that, check us out on all major platforms.
You can search for Spoils of Horror on all social media sites.
Come and hang out with us. We'd love to see you.
And your genitals.
Bye.
Are you in search of a refined and elevated podcast?
One where you can sit back with a cup of tea and indulge in the finest film cinema has to offer?
One where precision and polish comes before anything else?
Well, you've come to the wrong place.
We are Cinema Slab,
a podcast where we let our nerd flags fly and review our favorite movies and shows, new and old.
We're all besties.
And one brother and sister.
And we love discussing movies with each other. Whether it's a record-breaking television show that has us glued to our TVs every week.
We're like private investigators, except for no one hired us or asked for our help.
An ooey-gooey practical effects-filled horror movie.
Or a cult classic masterpiece.
You shoot me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize.
We're sure there's something for you on Cinema Slab.
I'm your Scream Queen, Anna.
Yeah, you're gonna love this one. It's a scream, baby.
I'm your gore gal, Hannah.
I kick ass for the Lord.
And I'm your favorite little brother, Hunter.
I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this couch.
And join us each week on Cinema Slab
as we bond together over our love of cinema.
And all things media and entertainment related.
Just when you thought you were safe, the terror continues with another chilly tale tonight on USA Network's Saturday Nightmares.
Yeah, this movie wasn't played on USA's Saturday Night Nightmares. What do you edit? There's nothing left of the movie if you edit stuff out.
That's like something that comes before like a Romero zombie movie.
Yeah.
It has that feel to it.
But, you know, I'm pretty sure Stephen and Leo filmed their commercial in the same place that this movie was made. Probably at the same time. Because it sounds like they were next door.
Yeah.
Same music and all. Like I couldn't even go, wow, I really like this like music in this thing. No, I didn't. I was just this is
old cheap horror music. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think any of it was horror. It was just this weird 70s bop shit.
Bop shit.
Some of it was awful weird. There was some ominous music, but there was some like that's an interesting choice.
Yeah. Playing the off note of piano isn't horror music, okay? This is just oh god.
It is to a person that plays music on the regular.
So
that's fair, yeah.
So I don't know what Pete's got loaded up, but I want to know.
Step up to the podium, Charlie.
Well, I'm curious about what everyone's thoughts are, not so much about what you thought of the movie. What are your thoughts as far as what the actual plot of this movie is?
Great. That's kind of where I'm headed to.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Pete, let's start with you, brother. You brought this to the table.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So I did some reading online, and I did listen to another podcast that recorded earlier this year on vampires, the Horror 101 with Dr. AC. These guys are scholars. If you want to hear some scholarly reviews of old movies, wow.
I'm like, we sound dumb enough. We don't need to like up the bar for
no,
anyone
no,
else.
I don't recommend playing them before or after our podcast. Like, just have some separation a few days or weeks apart.
Yeah.
It's easier on the brain.
I appreciate that.
But so I can't take 100% credit for this, but I do have my own twist on what they were thinking this was all about. So I think this movie is told out of order. I think the very first thing that happens is the very last thing that happens.
That's what I thought at one point.
So I still can't quite put the whole, these are supernatural vampires together yet. So what I'm going to rest my laurels on are that these are two mentally challenged ladies who are murdering people and drinking their blood, but they're 100% human. And they've been draining this guy because he's real good in bed or something. I don't know, pick something, but they seem to like him. So they've been keeping him for a while. He, at the end, escapes as they go to kill John in the car, which I thought was probably the scariest thing in the whole damn movie. That was terrifying.
Straight up.
Genuinely terrifying. And then if they were supernatural beings, I thought they would take the woman to be their third, because who doesn't need three beautiful women hopping in the sack with each other?
Well,
if
normally
you
it's
might as well go with 3.
It's normally 3 in the
Dracula
Dracula
is
movies,
usually 3.
right?
Correct.
But I meant, he usually has 3 brides and stuff like that. Yeah.
She marked her earlier in the movie, like, I'm going to mark you with this to remember you. I thought for sure that's what they were going to do, but they straight up murder her at the end.
Yeah.
And then they escape.
The vampire.
I'm not so I think Ted escaped, because if you look at him as he's stumbling to the car, as he's anemic, he's got blood on his shirt. But when they cut to him at the very end, when the real estate agent catches him in his car sleeping outside the castle, his shirt is clean. I think that after these girls escaped, or maybe they went back to the castle, it's a little, I just don't have all the, I don't have it all pointing together yet.
Because it's not there.
Because I think that somewhere he shot them to death in the bed. And that was the last thing that happened. So when he's sitting there, he had returned to the scene of the crime, because that's what, people do, return to the scene of the crime. At the very beginning of the movie, the hotel owner said, I remember you. We've been here before. So I'm really trying hard to put it together. Part of me is also like, this was blood in the wine, and as they're draining him of his human blood, they're replacing it with this vampire wine, and he goes and kills them again. Or man, it's
I think
there's a piece I'm missing.
You're giving it too good of a story with the transforming someone into a vampire with the wine. No one was thinking that. That's too good to have been in this movie.
Well, so when he goes back to that hotel, there's an old man there.
I know.
And he says, I remember you. He's a client of mine.
I have a theory.
So I'm going to stick with these ladies had a mental illness that made them kill people and drink blood, and they were draining Ted for whatever reason was on their brains. And then he maybe went out to his car and got a gun and came back and shot them in the house. And at the very end, he came back to the scene of the crime, and it's revealed that there were 2 ladies killed in the castle. Here's the castle, go buy it, all that good stuff. So that's my very broken, not fixed, but explanation.
So,
or
Anna,
you just had like maybe a tiny light bulb go off in the back. What if him sleeping out front it never happened? Like, what if he was like having some kind of weird wet / fever dream? And that's why he woke up. Like, and then like nothing was really wrong with him. The real estate lady or whoever and the couple that were going to buy the house were just there to buy the house. Maybe he was drunk and parked his car. Maybe he had a hooker and got a blowjob the night before and she dipped out, something. But he spent the night there. Maybe he'd done too many drugs and this is what went through his mind. But that could be a theory, but I kind of like the mental health theory. I like that because I was wondering, I was like, who is this guy that shot them and why? So somehow I kept thinking at the end, I was still unclear about it, but I guess it was made out to be that Ted did it. So it was either that or some other guy killed him at the start of the movie. And then they really are ghosts or supernatural beings at that point. Then you could take the route of, well, if it is mental health, maybe they're doing this blood thing and the wine for some kind of like cult leader that they consider to be their Dracula or whatever, So very interesting theories, Pete. I'll give you that. Charlie, where were you going to go?
All right. So we'll explain to everyone because we kind of really haven't told anyone about this part because we were saving it till our talk. This movie opens with the girls in bed together going at it.
Right
and
off the bat.
A guy dressed all in black shoots them to death. Like gunshots everywhere, bullet holes. It's pretty graphic. Done. And then we start the movie.
Right.
So Ted shows up. We follow Ted for a little bit in his car. He's driving into this town. He goes to this hotel, checks in. He says things like, I would like this room. I'll make sure it has a bath. Things that you would kind of know is there. There is an old hotel clerk. And he stands up. He's like, this is an old guest we've had. Obviously he knows what he needs. And Ted's like, no, I've never been here, but very suspiciously. And the guy's like, are you really? He goes, I must be mistaken. And they each kind of look at each other. And then dude actually breaks the fourth wall, the hotel clerk, and looks directly at the camera like, that was odd, wasn't it? It's exactly how his eyes look.
Ooh.
Then at the end of the movie, Ted escapes from the girls. He's in his car. The real estate agent wakes him up and yells at him for camping out and not the people that actually had a caravan out.
Getting
in the yard
drunk and
camping.
passing out. Yeah.
And this guy makes a couple of comments of, don't be a drunkard here. How dare you? It's like you're someone that is returning to the scene of a crime. That word actually comes out of his mouth.
Yep.
He then walks to the couple and goes, okay, this is a very beautiful house. No one's lived in here. There is a fun story that it's actually haunted by two women. And they're like, oh, we love that. We would love to buy a house that has ghosts and, it would entertain ourselves with. So my thought is, it is told in a linear fashion. It was Ted who killed these women. And now he's returning to the scene of the crime, possibly hearing about women inside of this building. He's like, I killed them. I'm giving this movie a lot more plot than it ever gave us. So we have to fill in some blanks. So he goes back. The blonde girl never saw the guy that shot them at the beginning of the movie. Fran only kind of saw a black figure. But I have a feeling that Fran was keeping Ted alive as torture because somehow she knew that was the guy that killed them in the beginning of the movie.
So you're going with the ghost story.
I'm going with they're not vampires. They're actually ghosts.
Okay.
That's been told. And Fran is torturing him because he's the one that killed them in the beginning. So there is no vampire other than it's a gothic house. And some reason they have a lust of blood. Maybe it was something that they were prostitutes killing Johns, viciously. And this guy was hired to take them out. Again, I'm giving this movie a plot that it doesn't deserve because it would not be hard to write a better movie and fix this thing.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah. But I believe it's actually shot linear. He is the one that killed them at the beginning, but she is now torturing him throughout this whole interlude. He kind of falls under a spell, which it still very loose. Like, why, if you knew who the girls were, why would you go in there and have sex with them? She's hot, fine, whatever. But why would you go through with this? Why is she keeping you alive if it's not for torture? Because she has no interest in keeping anyone alive. The girl she marks, I went, oh yeah, they're going to turn her.
Yeah.
Fucking murder her ass.
Yeah.
And,
Brutally.
For whatever reason, the director also wanted her to get naked in this movie and an awkward sex scene.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
you got a little side boob from her and then full frontal as they rip off her clothes at the very end.
I didn't need that at all.
As she screams bloody murder. Oh my God.
And they kill the husband, and it's quite possibly the greatest kill in the movie.
Yeah.
From the car. And it is the only real moment I'll say was a horror movie, because she pops up, like beside the car through the window.
Yeah.
And then the other girl's like in the back seat. And it's like, okay, this is pretty brutal. But yeah, I'm going with somewhere there was a story that these girls were assassinated. This is the killer. They're torturing him this entire movie to get their revenge. The plan falls apart because she got too interested in him. And he got away. They had to run away. And now the story about the house is there are these ghost women that are living there.
I can live with that one too. I like both of these theories.
It's so loose because we're literally throwing our own ideas to fill in the plots, because there is a giant plot hole.
We're taking great leaps of
yes.
We're filling in these giant gaps. We're taking these leaps.
And more than likely they filmed it as the script said, and there just was no tying story to this entire thing.
What was all the watch thing? Everyone's watches were stopping.
It's up at a certain time.
Nowhere.
It was, I guess maybe something else about vampire lore. Like it was at a certain
they
time.
were murdered, like the Amityville thing.
No, because it's like Ted's died and he gets it going again, but it's like they even made a point to comment on it and show another guy's watch
twice.
Like two other times aside from Ted's, and nothing ever came from it. And the passage of time in this movie is so confusing because the girls go out in the daylight. Maybe they're hoping we think it's dusk or dawn and it's not full sun. And there's only one scene there's only one scene at night. This is not a well-made movie. And I don't want to give it I want to tear it apart because it's a terrible movie, but I also don't want to beat it to death because it's a terrible movie and we can't fix it. There's no director's cut. It's just, it's not gonna work. I guess there is technically a director's cut. I did read that some reason this is a cult movie in England. It's popular now. That's just another reason why.
Syndrome put a release out or something.
Somebody
did. Yeah.
Look, if this is a cult classic over there, that's exactly why we won the war. So it's not an issue at all. We believe in freedom over here. But it was. I love you guys over there. Trust me. I got like 5 of friends in England. So
here we go. You got 5 listeners in England. You got 1 in that other place from Maverick.
Right. Yep. I'm good. I'm globally liked. And I forget where I'm even going with this, but it's not a good movie. Like it's just not put together in a coherent, there's a word, a coherent fashion.
All fair.
Oh, I was talking about the deleted scene. That's where I was going. See, I am totally everywhere. So I was reading that apparently there's an image floating around of the 2 girls inside of the caravan.
Oh,
like they attacked them in there. And so this has been lingering around that they finally got a hold of someone that worked on the movie. And all that anyone's found out is the guy kind of went, yeah, I kind of remember we might have filmed something in there.
Of course.
And that's all.
It was legit 50 years ago this movie came out.
So there's like
one guy's like,
there's one still image. It literally could have been them taking a break in the
That's what I was thinking.
That was probably the trailer they all had to share.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently there's like some deleted scenes or something, but it ain't nothing that's going to save this fucking film. Like not even close. I don't know, Pete. I still just am baffled. Why? When I say, Pete, pick a movie. You know what? It's been action. Pick a horror movie. Go nuts.
And I did.
And you picked this.
And I went nuts.
And you knew how I was going to respond. So now I don't believe you when you go, I really tried to pick something for you, Charlie, because that's bullshit. Okay? It's not for me. It's for your amusement is what it is.
Pretty much. Yes. It's for my amusement.
And Anna got caught in the blast because she's like, wait, Nate was supposed to take the brunt of this, apparently. And now I'm stuck here with boobs in my face.
I dove in front of a bullet for Nate.
Two big old double D howitzers just flying around.
Wow, no kidding. They were not sultanas, that's for sure. They were howitzers. I had to look up what Sultana brand was. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
In the caravan, they had Raisin Bran sitting on their breakfast table, but it said Sultana brand. And apparently Sultanas are golden grapes in Europe. So
so it's their version of Raisin Bran?
Yeah, it is legit. Only it's with, instead of raisins, like traditional grape raisins, they're the golden.
The golden ones. I haven't had those, but yeah, so it's like, it's Golden Graham. No, wait, that's a totally different cereal.
That is also a different cereal. Right. I don't know. That was just something dumb. You can cut that out.
No, that stays. Nothing gets cut. Like this movie, nothing gets cut.
Nothing gets cut. I saw there's a piece of trivia that says Marianne Morris, who played Fran, said in a 1994 interview that her 17-year-old daughter was very embarrassed when her friends said they found a copy of the movie and watched her fully naked mom have lesbian sex. Morris thought it was funny. She just thought it was funny.
I mean, bravo.
It's the 70s, kids. Y'all wouldn't understand. Just had to be there.
Just own it.
Well, one of them, she did go to like pose in Playboy after this, and
that
the
was
other one,
that was Fran posed in Playboy.
Fran posed in Playboy, and then the other girl posed nude in they said Gentleman's Magazine. I'm guessing in Britain it's one of those.
Right. Yeah, British men's magazine Mayfair.
Okay, Mayfair is what it was. But I also read that Fran had to like drink an entire bottle of like scotch or wine before she did the big sex scene with the other girl in the movie. I'm like, it comes across on the screen. I think it's the one with Ted in the bed, and they go at each other while he's passed out next to him. Basically,
she looked a little wobbly when she was in the shower. I mean,
she looked a little wobbly everywhere.
Maybe she's just self-medicating through the whole
There was a point, I swear to God, like when they bring in the one dude in the red car, and they're like, let's all drink together. And they pose in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And Fran like lays across everyone. And I went, let's just randomly pose all of a sudden. Jackie's like, right? Like, what are they doing?
They're passing a carafe of wine around. Here, have another spot. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's like, oh, this is good. Have some more. Like, dude, you just got here yesterday from giving a chick a ride, and now you're like her dude or something. And he's like asking her
just living there.
Like, who is this? Who are you? What are this? What are they? I'm like, God, just makes no sense whatsoever. And then little Miss Sherlock Holmes running around the fucking property trying to figure out what's going on. That dude's wife, she was annoying the shit out of me in this movie. Like, lady, just tell your husband I don't want to stay here anymore and pull up the caravan and leave. That's all you had to do was leave.
With as dismissive as he was of her, I doubt he would have allowed her to talk him into moving the caravan.
Dude went out in the rain. Like, come on, bro. Just give her this win.
After she said she saw somebody out there, oh, honey, you were dreaming. Just go back to bed.
Yeah.
No. I saw somebody's fucking hand over here.
Look, like, okay, we don't know how she is normally. I'm thinking she's like this all the time. And she's totally like freaking out over nothing. And now this is like the girl that cried wolf. This is the one time she was right. And her husband's just like, I can't anymore. And honestly, just go ahead and go in the house. I don't care anymore. Just go. Like, he's scolding her when he finds her in the house. Like, the fuck are you doing in here? Like,
yeah,
really,
he did get on to her pretty hard. Yeah.
How did you know she was in the house and where to find her? This is a legit castle.
Because that's all she's talked about. And he's like, damn it, she went in the house. I know she did. She just B&E'd in this people's home.
True. It's true. That was completely a B&E.
It was totally a B&E.
100%. Yep.
with cops just down the road still working two
So
fucking
working on the
accidents.
car wrecks, right?
Oh my God. All right. That's it. Okay. Ted maybe is the killer of all of them. I don't know. Let's get into the things. Okay.
We may never know.
We're not gonna. Like, I so didn't care. I didn't even look this up. I counted in the back of my head and I went 5 people died in this movie. And I think I'm right.
Couple, the girls at the beginning, the couple.
Well, they're the same. Those are the girls, the vampires.
The vampires.
We don't
two
count
lovers.
them. Yeah, we don't count them.
But they get murdered.
But they're alive. It's like, do we count Jason if he dies in a movie? No.
Okay, fine.
That's fair. Yeah.
So you don't count those two. So you have the couple.
3 men and the couple, so that's 5. Yeah.
5. Yeah, because Ted apparently lives at the end of this. I really thought about that, Pete. I was like, well, maybe, but no. I'm like, you know what? Because it's at the beginning and then they're right back. And it's literally lingering in your brain like the first half of this movie. Like, when does the beginning come into play? Where's the detective investigating the murders? Like, I was fully expecting a constable to show up and start asking people about, the murder of these 2 women at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
No, never happened. And then I was like, wait a minute. It was them 2. Like, and then when I looked on IMDb, I was like, there's no chicks listed as, victim 1 and victim 2. It's them. There's no other like characters. So I was like, okay, I'm not counting them.
Low body count.
All right. It's very low body count. All right. Let's pick our favorite one. I think we've already said it.
I'm pretty sure.
Zombie kill of the week.
They might as well be zombies because they ain't vampires. I'm just saying. There's nothing vampires in this movie. It's not even spelled vampire. It's vampire with a Y. And I was like, well, is that a different like breed of vampire? No, it's just fucking French. That's all it is. Like, just France fucking things up again. I don't know. It's just, I think we might have
You're
one
gonna piss
listener.
off yet another country, Charlie.
I think there's only like one in France. It's fine.
It's only one country in France. Yes, because it's
probably
a country.
No, I meant listener. They're here forever. They're not going to leave. That's fine.
Suckers.
Yeah, message me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to say mine's John, the husband.
Yep.
Because it is literally the only part in the movie where I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I like that one.
Timu Bruce Campbell.
Timu Bruce Campbell.
What you, Anna? What do you think?
Same. Oh yeah, easy. Same.
Yeah, make it a trifecta because that was legit scary. I was like, wow.
It was.
Yeah, it was misdirection.
Yeah,
you weren't expecting Fran to be in the car because how would she get in there? It doesn't matter.
Again, we don't know. It's magic. It's kind of magic.
Jason's magic too.
Yeah, and there's other kills in this movie, but it's so badly acted that like the girl's like supposed to be stabbing him, and I'm like, she's like completely missing wherever this, like she's supposed to like slit a dude's throat, and I'm like, you couldn't even draw blood across his fucking neck to show me that she slit his neck. Nope. Ain't got the budget for that. But you know what we do got budget for? Boobs. And then, immediately going into
boobs are
I didn't know there was a whole other category called licking. It's just, oh God.
They were free flopping around like that.
Out of their restraints.
That poor blonde girl, I forget what her, Miriam
boobies,
or whatever her name is. She is so adverse to everything she's doing in this movie that when they are, I think it might have been Ted or it might be one of the other girls, she only licks dude's arm. She doesn't touch anything else on that dude's body. Like she's like, you can't pay me enough to lick anything else but this fucking arm. Okay, if I got to lick something, I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon and I'm going to lick this fucking arm. And I'm not touching anything else in this movie. And that's how it feels when you watch this fucking movie. She doesn't want to be there. And I feel bad for her. It was terrible. It was just terrible. All right. We
got to rate it now.
We got to rate this. I have 2 clips that I'm supposed to play.
Oh.
And I don't know if I want to rate it first and then hear this, or rate it later? Let's rate it, because I'm sure he thought that's the way we're going to be going.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
Charlie is suffering here. You poor guy.
It's so bad.
Suffering.
Nate messaged me earlier, and Nate messaged me. He did try to watch this movie, and he goes, "Dude, British dudes and licking. There's just something." I turned the movie off, and I was like, "I don't blame you." I sat through the whole fucking thing. I said, if the only reason this isn't lower than Feast is because Feast was 4 fucking hours long because we did all 3 of them. Like, this was at least done quicker, so I can't rank it below Feast.
Well, what do you rank?
And I think I gave that one like a negative Nate or something. I think I gave it
negative thirst.
Like, no, I think I came up with a whole new category for that. And I've really been thinking, like, does this one get a new one? Am I killing the bit if I do that? Because I kind of watched Thirst before I watched this piece of shit.
Whoa,
like, it was bad. I was like,
Thirst. Go watch Thirst. Amazing.
Thirst, again, it's too fucking long and just doesn't give me. I'm going to give this what we consider worse than a 1. Is I'm giving it a 2. This is getting a 2. A 2. It's like it's not even worthy of a 1. It just gets a 2. This is bad, Pete. And you fucking did this. You knew I was not going to like this. You asked permission of our new guest host to even bring it on the show. It's a fucking 2. All right, Anna. I didn't set the bar very high, so wherever you would like to go from there.
Oh gosh. So this conversation was great. I had a lot of fun.
This was way more fun.
It was. And honestly, I kind of like the theory spinning we did. That was awesome. Out of 10, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 10.
Thank God she was sub 5.
Because I say all the time, everybody should watch everything once. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to watch it again. And if you do like it, then, well, there you go. You found a new movie to add to your collection. This was fun. This was totally Pete. And I just appreciate that you even asked me if it was okay if you picked it. And I was like, hell yeah, I love boobs, which I do. I believe I talked about in Possessor how sex scenes can be done nice. There's nothing wrong with them, but hello, did we
surprise wing?
We got a lot of sex, of lesbian sex in this. So, it kept my attention. So I got to give it that. But yeah, the background, everything without the sex is what made it kind of feel nice and enjoyable. So that's pretty much where a lot of the 3 goes. 3.5.
All right.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So not a recommend for you. Okay.
No.
Well, hey, I recommend everybody watch everything once.
Okay.
But my preference, I probably won't watch it again.
Fair.
I will watch it again. You gotta be okay. Pete, how many times have you watched this movie?
This is on regular rotation.
You and your fucking phrasing. Just rate this goddamn thing.
It's fun. It's silly. It doesn't make a lot of sense in places. In a lot of places, actually.
Any place.
But the atmosphere is so much fun, and I just have a ball with this one. The Karnstein, I recommend the Karnstein trilogy as well. Peter Cushing is in all 3 of those. Twins of Evil, Lust for Vampire, and I can't remember the other one. The other one's the best one. Anyway, it's a recommend. It's a 7. I recommend it. I will buy if I can find an affordable Blu-ray, I will buy it. I like this movie. This is a lot of fun.
Pete.
Atmosphere. It's got the weirdness. It's got the what the fuck is that? It's wild.
Myself.
This movie is wild. Now it is a slow burn.
God,
we've already talked we don't need to talk about it.
We've talked.
Go watch this movie. It's a blast.
I blame myself because I have told Pete, like, bring a movie that you really enjoy, that you really have a connection for. And now that I know what that is, I'm going to rescind that offer and be like, no, just give me what you think we would like. Okay.
I get 2 picks in September, remember? And
why'd I give you one in August?
I think I get one in December too, don't I?
November.
November. Okay. I already picked that one. You know that one.
But that one has stipulations on it. So
and I gave it to you. And you're going to be mad at me for this one.
I probably am. I'm always
let your Pete let your Pete flag fly, Pete. You watch whatever you want to. Whatever makes your little heart happy. And it makes me happy you enjoyed this movie.
We're going to change February to Pete Pride Month. That's what we're going to
Pride
change
Month.
February. Yep. All right. Well, I have been sent, once again, some clips. And I say some. One says play now. The other one says play the second. Why it's not all in one linear thing? No clue. But y'all
two different
are
people
hearing this. Yeah, y'all are hearing this as we hear it. I'm not pre-listening to this. I did that once and I regretted it ever since. So now I just let him go. I don't know who this is. So it's the luck of the draw. Here we go.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's giving back my action horror movies. It's your boy, Sylvester Stallone. How you doing? Hi, Pete. I see you over there. How you doing, Charlie? I heard you talk about Rambo 3 more than Rambo 2, but it's okay. I forgive you. It's no biggie. I'm just gonna pinch your little cheeks just like I pinched little Nate's. Oh, Anna, hello. How are we doing tonight? How you doing? Oh, I kid. I'd replace you with a dog like I did my wife, but then she came back. I don't know. I got a tattoo of a dog now instead of my wife. You know, that's how things go around here when it comes to the ladies. And so I saw you guys did a movie from 1974 called Vampyres. It was very sexy, let me tell you. Oh, boy. Oh. You know, I kind of started one of these movies too. It was about me being an Italian stallion, you see. And they talked about it because, you know, your boy sliced a lawn and a horse. We got a lot in common. So, you know, that's what we got to do when it comes to being, you know, in the industry. You got to start somewhere is what I always said. Anywho, I was watching it and I didn't really know what was going on. So, you know, I brought the family along and they watched it. They didn't know what was going on. So, you know, all the daughters and my wife, none of us really knew what was happening. And so then, you know, movie night turned into showing a screen of an Italian stallion. It was great. I was like, look at your father. This is the work he used to do. Then he started punching guys in Rocky. And then I wrote the Rocky, and then I wrote the Rocky 2. And then I wrote the Rocky 3, and then I wrote the Rocky 4, and I regret rocking the Rocky 5, and then I end up making Rocky 6, and then they told me, yeah, that's about enough from you. We're going to go ahead and make Creed. I think it's no big deal. Anywho, I know a person who knows a lot about sex and dildos and stuff, and I figured why not just get them on the line. Well, then I found out Dr. Roof died. And so then, you know, I was like, ooh, well, good thing I'm Sylvester Stallone, and I know a thing or two, so if you would like to, you know, join me, give me back my action horror movies, a very special guest, Anna, to welcome on the show, Zelda Rubinstein.
Yes, hello, I am Zelda Rubinstein. It is I, and Sylvester Stallone has reached out to me in order to reach out to Dr. Roof.
Yeah, I know, that's great. You probably thought Zelda was dead, but she's just been hiding. That's what she does.
Yeah, you know me. Run to the light. Ha ha ha. Anywho, we are going to summon Dr. Roof. Can you hear me, Dr. Roof? Come to the light, Dr. Roof. This is your only chance.
Wow.
Poltergeist noises.
Oh, whoa, there's things flying all around my head.
Yes, I know they be flying all over the place.
Whoa, look at that. The chair I'm in, it's levitating. Whoa.
All right. I think I got her now. And it could it be? Hello, Dr. Ruth? Is that you? Yeah, yes, it is me, Dr. Ruth. How you doing? Oh, hi, Stallone. Italian stallion, you looking very good. Yeah. I'm being possessed, I think, by Dr. Ruth. What do I do? Hello, it is me, Dr. Ruth. How are you doing tonight? Give me back my action and horror movies and special guest Anna. I see you guys are covering a nice lesbian movie with the vampires. I bet there was some scissoring was happening, which, they try to say that is not real, but this is okay. When you are having sexual intercourse with special consent, anyone is allowed to play. Everyone knows this. And so what ends up happening is there's a dirty old man, and he just kept licking, and I don't think he was getting consent. That is not very nice. Wouldn't you agree, Zelda Rubinstein? Yes, I would definitely agree that, consent is very important. Why, thank you. That is very, very true. And as you know, if you're ever having to play with different suction cups, or maybe rope, or maybe you have a little bit of handcuffs lying around, those are all totally fine. Now, I don't know if there was actually anti-vampires in this movie. The ones that go, the blah, I come to suck your blood. Or maybe these vampires that come to suck something else, if you know what I'm saying. Anywho, that was Vampyres. You got anything else for them, Zelda? No, I do not have anything else. I did. Oh, look, there's Sly Stallone. He's.
Oh, that was really weird. I'm not gonna lie. Anywho, I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to Dr. Ruth. That would have been pretty cool. But I think I did. And yeah, bye.
I don't know if we're supposed to put commentary between I play the next one. I did not listen to this beforehand.
Roll it. Just roll
I'm going to roll it. I do just want to say Sly Stallone literally did have a tattoo of his wife, and they separated, and then he got a tattoo of his dog over the picture of his fucking wife.
That was recent, right?
Yeah, like a year or two ago. And
Yeah.
then they got back together, and now he still has a tattoo of the dog over his wife's picture that was on his arm. Kids, don't give people's fucking names and pictures unless they're your goddamn mom. Okay,
Amen.
because
Or your kids. Or your kids.
Yeah, your kids are fine too. But honestly, mom is completely safe. Don't do it. Okay, look it up. It's fucking horrifying, and I can't believe he threw that in here. So I'm gonna hit this second button, and I'm just as terrified as everyone else.
Here we go.
It's just me and you now. I got rid of Zelda, and I got rid of Dr. Ruth. That was really scary. There was a cup I was drinking from, and the water went all over me, and I didn't know what to do. So then I was like, okay, you got this. So I started punching ghosts, right? I was possessed, but I was punching all the ghosts. And sometimes in life, it's not about how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit. Or something like that. But in Afterlife, those rules they change. It's all about how hard you can hit. I hit really fucking hard, so I just started throwing haymakers left and right. And now all the ghosts, they know that Stallone is their king, and I think I rule the underworld now or something. I don't know. So bye everyone.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I make no apologies. I make no.
Thought he was taking a break.
This is what happens when you take a break.
You go crazy.
You go crazy. All right. Well, let's see here. I do have one more thing to do, and this is on my side. I did find a trash review, so we're bringing it back.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
Nothing this review can say isn't something I already know and probably agree with. So
probably
hit it.
But this is Pizza Jerk 9964. That was kind of prophetic.
Was it really?
It is. This movie is utter garbage. This didn't need to be made. Who is this director? Only the most devile people. What's devile? Nate
it's
wrote
not
this.
a word. It's a Nate word.
It's not a word. But only them. I'm going to say they thought vile. Only the most vile people would ever find any amount of enjoyment in this movie. I wish people would get grammar correct, but this is the worst of the worst. I'd rather watch Feast 1, 2, and 3. Oh shit, this is what I was writing in my notes. My bad.
You're correcting your own grammar. Good job.
Yeah, I was mad. I was doing it off the cuff. I was not. After Nate's shit, I couldn't think straight. All of that killed my entire bit. It's done. Way to go, Nate. All right. That's Vampires. That's August. We didn't give a shit for the end of this month. And it's apparent Pete didn't give a shit and just threw something at us that stuck to the wall. But yeah, if you want to watch it, it's on Tubi. I don't recommend you watch it. But hey,
100% recommend.
Go watch it. Yeah.
You like what you like. Just type in Vamp and just look at the amount of fucking vampire movies.
That's Grace Jones. Vamp is Grace Jones.
No, I meant
Hello.
anything that pops up. Like, just go to Tubi, put VAMP. Yes, Vamp is awesome. But then just look at everything it recommends. And just close your eyes and click one. Because it's probably better than this movie. I'm telling you, it's definitely what it's going to be. All right. Well, I want to talk about what's going to happen next week. We're going to bring a movie that I've kind of been holding back. It's been a little near and dear to my heart. And it's kind of divisive. Some people like it for what it is. Some people don't. You know, it definitely plays around with a certain genre. And it is... Nah, come on. No. I paid the guy the premium to get this fucking firewall fixed. Pete, you are in IT. Is this part of what's going on? Is this like
what was his name? Did it sound like CrowdStrike? Was it
that?
Was his last name CrowdStrike maybe?
Nate just sent me a link and said, use this. This will work for oh god, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Anna, I am so sorry. I don't know. I thought I had this fixed. This has only happened like once or twice. I'm trying. It won't let me.
You can't. What?
Go
get a scissors. Go get your axe. Your phone.
This is different. What the hell? This is different. No.